Did you ever heard the legend of the legend? No? Course not. It's not a story Shinra would tell you. It's a Turk legend. The legend was the best of the best. He was so powerful, yet so awesome. He could use bombs to persuade any opposition from standing in his way. Yet such experience in combat, he could even fight dozens of opponents like a goddamn one-man army. Some say, for him, being a Turk was just an hobby, a side gig. Didn't even went through specialized training or selection like the rest. Yet there he was, a full-fledged Turk.
Well, what happened to him?
The legend became so infamous and so dependent in the company that at one point, the only thing he ever wanted was to retire from his job, which eventually, of course, he did. Unfortunately, this was due to a very common disease that takes away many cool characters from screen time on any storytelling, being OP. Ironic. He had a dedicated side story in Before Crisis focused on him, yet he was never mentioned on any other game after that.
Will we ever see him again?
I have no idea. Hello there. Today I would like to expand your horizons on a character that you probably never heard about before today. Personally, I really like this character, even if we don't know a lot about him. From the cool design, Giga Chat personality, and being the best Turk out of all of them. Debatable, I guess, but Song, Reno, and Rude would have no problem saying that he is, in fact, the best. Anyway, the legend is a character introduced in the mobile game Final Fantasy VII Before Crisis. Before Crisis is a game that follows the story of the events that come before and until the end of FF7 Original, through the eyes of the Turks. In my humble opinion, it's a pretty solid story, given that it was intended to be played on an old retro brick mobile Nokia phone. The game is not actually bad, given some story bits that might not make sense and don't align with OG FF7 or Crisis Core. The rest is pretty good. You see how the Turks operate and what they are forced to do given their position in Shinra. Perhaps things are not so black and white as you would have thought. Well, you can already see this in OG FF7 or Remake, but this was a good excuse to use the extra assets of storytelling that didn't make it to the final cut of the original Final Fantasy VII. Thus, Before Crisis was born, but only in Japan, I'm afraid. The playthroughs about this game are very scarce, but there was a man, no, a goat, that uploaded the full game on YouTube with a translated dialogue from Japanese to English. This person goes by Grimoire Valentine on YouTube. Link to their Before Crisis playthrough is in the description below. I would not know anything about this game if Grimoire hadn't uploaded a translated Before Crisis like this. For those that never watched this game, give it a try. You might be surprised. Having that said, there's the question we must answer before we go into detail about this video's protagonist. A simple yet important question. What is a Turk? As Cloud points out, Turks are called to handle many different types of situations, with extreme prejudice. These guys aren't amateurs or your average seasoned worker, they are consummate professionals, experts in their craft. Here's some examples of what type of jobs they can do, depending on the day. Bodyguard work, intelligence gathering, kidnapping people, assassination, and mass genocide, just to name a few. Truly a wide range of skills. They could probably do anything that you can think of if you ask them. Like cooking. Of course, this is not something they want to do, it's something they have to do, if the one in charge demands it. Because if someone cannot finish the job, someone else will. They're like a cog in a very large machine. And when a certain cog starts malfunctioning, that very same cog can just be replaced. That's how Tsang got his promotion to become the head of the Turks from Verdot. Not because Verdot was incompetent in his position. President Shinra was just being a huge, hypocritical, selfish, scared little baby man-child. You know how he is. I just feel bad for Verdot and Song for what they had to put up with. Anyway, to summarize, to be a Turk, you can't have emotions cloud your judgment. When you're on the job, the top priority of any mission is the mission. Everything else is secondary. In Sung's special episode from Before Crisis, they show this very well. I won't spoil it too much, but long story short, when Sung was a rookie, he was tasked to save a Shinra trooper that had been kidnapped by an anti-Shinra group. Shinra, aka President Shinra, didn't want his company's secrets being discovered and used against him in any way, shape or form. So Verdot tasked Song to retrieve and destroy any evidence and information leaks that this group might add. So Song boards the boat they're at, finds the trooper, learns that he didn't spill the beans to anyone, and saves him from that place. Later he gets in trouble for this. Because when Song found him, the trooper said, barely conscious mind you, that sensitive information about new prototype weapons were stolen from Shinra HQ. To be specific, it was the model of these armored suits that had lightsabers, but without the lightsabers. They would only add those way later. And this group also stole some of them. Sephiroth knows how, God knows how, but they did it. The point is that Song made a mistake. Chief Verdot explains that Song's mission was to ensure the safety of the trooper while confirming that no Shinra secrets were leaked outside the company. When Song found out that company secrets were stolen, he should have abandoned the trooper and destroyed all the evidence so they couldn't be used against Shinra. So, what does Song and we learn from this? Working for Shinra means you can have a conscience, empathy, or a heart. Everything is for the company's interests. And when you are retired, you will slowly fade away until you are forgotten, like you never existed in the first place. Do not be mistaken. This isn't a one for all and all for one type of thing. The only motto in this company is all for Shinra. Hell, even the infantry trooper that was tortured for weeks didn't snitch. He didn't budge. He said nothing. This guy would rather die than sell out the company he works for, and was even begging to Tsung to leave him there and go after the stolen information and goods. Why? Just why? Why show all this loyalty to Shinra? Was he kidnapped on his first day on the job? Did they promise him a promotion? That a giant statue would be held at the center of Midgar with his name and face on it? They would give him the keys of the city? I'm sorry for the crash shot. This just gets me angry to my very core. The reward for loyalty is being left behind. If I speak from Shinra's interests point of view, this mission was a failure! The Turk assigned for this job was incompetent, and the life of that trooper was saved. What a letdown. Couldn't even die in pain and agony with no honor. Funny how even though Verdot scolds Song about this, later in the episode, he does the opposite of what he said. He saves Song and gets injured in the process instead of leaving him behind. Guess there are exceptions to every rule. Well, as long as the mission is complete, anything goes, since that is what it means to be a Turk. Now that we understand a little bit about what being a Turk is all about, let's shift our attention to the man of the hour. The legend, codename Legend, also known as the Grim Reaper / Death God of the battlefield. To this day, we still don't know his actual name. How did he get all these titles? What did he do to achieve them? Is that why he never had to take trials to become a Turk and just skip them? The answer is quite long, so I'm afraid I won't be able to cite everything from the special episode. Still, I'll give you the short version, and in case you want to read it all by yourself, you can find the link for the Legend special episode in the description down below. So basically, the Legend was a mercenary that was hired by an anti-Shinra group. Yes, another one. There sure were a lot of those back then. While fighting for this group, which he grew attached to, the legend, through his tactics, bombs, and ability to destroy and obliterate Shinra, he was given the title of Grim Reaper / Death God of the Battlefield. One day, he and this group were betrayed by an arms dealer that sold their location at the time to Shinra, which caused the group and the people unrelated to the group their demise. Only the legend survived. Following this incident, Verdot recruits him to the Turks and later he starts doing jobs for them. In this special episode, he gets revenge on the arms dealer guy that had betrayed him before, that he was supposed to save in the name of Shinra. And later, he also saves the city of Junon from a full-scale avalanche assault. Or maybe the best way to describe it would be, after his arrival at Junon, the battle shifts from avalanche almost conquering Junon to Shinra extinct them, which of course caused them to run away. And this event is covered in Before Crisis' main story. But going back to the saving the arms dealer guy for a sec, the legend is tasked to save Mr. Rainer, an arms dealer that has ties to Shinra, from a bunch of kidnappers. The location they are at is a secret facility that belongs to Rainer, and its purpose is to supply Shinra with weapons. The mission? To quietly handle the situation. Save the kidnapped and wipe out the kidnappers. Or in other words, ensure Shinra's secrets stay as secrets. So picture this, the legend is called to handle the situation by himself. Tsung is observing everything and will be on standby as backup, if necessary. There's around 40 goons in the complex, and one person that needs rescue. Surely, the wise approach is to stealthily take down most of them and deal with the rest as efficiently as possible so no harm comes to the victim. Right? Right? Wrong! You understand nothing! Just before the legend starts his assault, he asks Tsung,
Yo, Tsung, how many of them are there?
about 40.
Nice odds.
How will you infiltrate?
I'll take the front door.
Are you serious?
I'll break it down with my own hands.
Well, not with his own hands per se, but with his bombs and gadgets. Suffice to say, he was successful. Most of them knew who he was, and as soon as they realized that, terror and agony was all they could express. When it came to the rescue of Rainer, well, the legend just left him there to crumble with the rest of the building. And what was the punishment for disobeying orders? Being put under house arrest in Costa del Sol until further notice. So, for abandoning his mission as a Turk and leaving an important Shinra affiliate behind to die, he got paid for extended vacation at a sunny resort town until Shinra calls for him again. Not bad if you ask me. I wouldn't mind having that too. Verdot explains that Shinra's greatest concern was that the secrets held by Rainer and the arms factory would leak out. And since they both were gone, Shinra's safety was ensured. In other words, given his accomplishments, it would have been a loss to the company if they were to dispose of him. This might be the only guy that gets a treatment like this from Shinra, which is crazy given what we know about Shinra. And there you have it, the Turk who was too good at its job. I wonder, what do you think of this? Did you know about him already? Did your curiosity about him grew? Do you want to see him in FF7 Remake Part 3 with the rest of the Turks from Before Crisis? Let me know in the comments. And if it's not too much trouble, please don't forget to subscribe. I really appreciate it. I hope you have enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching it until now. I hope you have a good day. Take care and stay safe, everyone.